Sup, dudes? I'm 3 and today I wanted to do a little something necessary. Conventions. Yeah, that's this. I haven't really been able to look at the results for the poll from last episode, but that'll be next week's first episode of this. So, Tutorial 8, we're going to talk about conventions. So, let's start with first things first. Comments. Now, none of this stuff here needs comments, but let's say you're doing a method. Public stat. It can be public, it can be private. Those are interchangeable for now, but you'll later learn the difference between them. But private, static, void, sort, int, array, and then you put your sorting code there. Let's copy it from the previous tutorial, just to, make this easier. And paste. Now you might say, well, what does this do? Okay, let's try this. So this might be, okay, sort. What does it mean, sort? Okay, so we do something, we put comments. And we say sorts an array from a disorganized state to order of smallest to largest. You can also order it largest to smallest. It's simply just switching this around right here. Literally switching this to a less than sign will sort it largest to smallest. That's all you need to do. But you put a comment there to explain what's happening in here and say this Boolean checks if the iteration of the loop has any swaps of array elements. That's what this Boolean has swaps does. So that's the sort of thing. Now, white space is a thing. So here's something else. Int I char character scanner input equals new scanner system.in. Now, none of these guys need comments. I mean, this one's a pretty self-explanatory little thing. But what is to note is that you declare in a method, you declare all the variables it uses except for stuff like ints within, a for loop like this here at the beginning. And if it's going to have a value, you also declare its initial value in here. So 87, just throw an 87 there. And what you do is you put white space between each group of something. For example, this would probably look better if I put empty white space there and empty white space there. So that's declared, that section declares variables. This is the actual sorting, and this is the return statement. 3 distinct sections. And here you have declaring variables. You have some processes happening here. Actually, you want to see something funny you can do? You can throw this in there. It's gonna confuse everyone, but just roll with it. And also every time you want to create a new variable for this thing, you just put it up here. Four, 6, 2, 122. I don't know what's happening here, but anyway. So there's that, and then you do this. Also, you can also just, I'm not sure what this ends up printing because I've actually never tried this before, but you can do that. You can straight up put the array in there. It also says Array instance printed on print stream. Yeah. Wrap array using arrays.toString. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. And then you can do sort. Okay. All right. And then you can do array equals sort array. And then you can print it again. But each time you've got something that's separate, you put white space. Now, actually, these guys aren't really separate, so I wouldn't put white space between them. And then say you finally decide to assign a value to character. It equals character equals input dot now this is actually quite an interesting little thing you can do. Just go straight down. Just put in next line dot char at 0. And what 0 that does is it takes its first character. And then actually this would be the same part of the same thing. Character. Now, there are some conventions here. For example, I put white space in between each distinct group of code. Now, in the end, we can run this, and, well, it did some weird stuff happening with the scanner and also the array. It does that sort of thing. And also, let's put, and it prints the F. It does that. Now, I think what we can do is I think this does changes how it print. Yeah, it does change how it prints. Okay. Yeah. But here's something else. If you're going to use more than one variable in one word in a thing, this is how you do it. Long, really big number. I accidentally hit enter in there. You don't want to do that. Number. Now, what's happening here is you got 3 words. The first word, the first letter of the first word, is not capitalized, but the first letter of each word afterwards is. This is called lower camel case, I believe. Either that or upper camel case. It's one of the two. And basically, what it does is that's a convention. You can be really weird and funky with your capitals and throw in random numbers, but normally you'd name it by what it's actually for. Now, if these were like for anything, if it was like int was like representing like number of like items in your inventory in like a game you're programming, you put number of items for that variable. And let's just finish this up. Let's just finish this up by actually making this do something. Yeah, this will run. By the way, the scanner is just going, ah! That's what happens when you try to print a scanner variable. Don't even ask why. Just do that, and then that's that, and then... Yep, there you go. So, that all worked just like that, but this will work even if you mess around with the variable names. But there is a reason for conventions. By the way, the buffer, you put it right only during the time that the buffer is actually used, and then you get rid of it, just so you know. That's another convention that I've never really seen, but it's kind of one I stick to. It's kind of something I put in my coding, because what each of these does is it asks for RAM. So the less time it's actually using this RAM in here, the better. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, okay, and now we're done with that by the time we reach this. There you go. So that's all that really means. And you got to use your white space so it's got like important blocks of code. Also put comments. I'm not sure really what I'd comment on these because I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. But yeah, all of this is conventions, and they're something important I should have taught you as we went along, but I realized that I wasn't really teaching them, and so I've decided to do this here now. And well, I'm going to teach them as we continue on. I'm going to teach you conventions about um, stuff in the future. So I'm personally hoping that the next tutorial is objects, by the way. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button, share it if you liked it, and subscribe for daily content. And be sure to have a lovely day. Bye!